Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Real View Shorts. Real views from real people. Just the reviews in this one. Today we are looking at What If Season 3. So I watched this over the holidays, as probably many of you did. And I'm going to share some thoughts of it. This is a bit of a different one. I sort of recorded most of my thoughts from episode to episode, or at least a few episodes at a time. So it'll be kind of like, not a breakdown, but a bit of a recap in some ways, but also what I thought of each episode, and then what I thought of the series as a whole. You can also check out my first thoughts reviews. And share, like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and just, keep these, keep up to date, hit the notifications button to keep up to date with all the videos, all the content I'm putting out. And thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Miles Reviews. That's Miles with a Y. And let's get into it. What If Season 3 is directed by Bryan Andrews and Stephan Franck, written by Bryan Andrews with Matthew Chauncey, Ryan Little, Jon Roth et al. Based on the comics/characters created by Jack Kirby, Steve Englehurt, Jim Starlin, Steve Gerber, Val Mayerik, Joe Simon et al., starring Hayley Atwell, Devery Jacobs, Samuel Jackson, Teyonah Paris, Simu Liu, Sebastian Stan, David Harbour, Jason Issacs, Alison Sealy-Smith, Natasha, Lyonne, and Laurence Fishburne, amongst others. So, we're getting to my thoughts on this, and you let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Alright, let's get into it.
Okay, so What If Season 3? This isn't going to be like as in-depth as some of my more recent reviews. It's I was going to talk about it episode by episode, but we're like 3 episodes in now, and I just hadn't had a chance to record. It's Christmas holes now, so hopefully I'll keep up. So what's this all about, Governor? I mean, you know what If it's about if you've been following. Basically, Marvel has a series that is based off the comics, the spin-off comics of Marvel, which basically deal with like an alternate or different universe where basically, like what if Captain America was a werewolf, or what if Iron Man didn't stop selling weapons, that kind of thing. That's basically the premise of the show. This is season 3 now. The past couple of seasons have been connected. We'll see if this one is. It probably will be towards the end, but we'll see. I think this is the final season as well, so interesting. So the first one was What If the Hulk Fought the Mech Avengers? This one has Anthony Mackie in the lead as Captain Falcon America / Black Tin America, I guess. In this, basically, it's like it's basically like Voltron, but what if the Avengers are Voltron? And the Avengers are made up in this by you had the original Avengers like for Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, possibly Hawkeye, I don't know. But basically, in this one, Bruce Banner, Hulk, he tries to separate the Hulk from himself, but instead creates a more powerful Hulk that separates from him and becomes an apex, and it's basically like Voltron / Pacific Rim. So basically, the Avengers have to end up fighting kaijus, more or less, and using mech suits in order to do that. And the OG Avengers perish in one of their final battles against the Apex and his babies, I guess, because he's able to shoot babies off his back, apparently. They fall to them, and now it's up to Anthony Mackie, up to Sam Wilson, and the others to take on the mantle and get rid of these kaiju Hulk gamma monsters. And it just so happens that Sam Wilson is also a friend to Bruce Banner. I guess that's the interesting thing about our relationship. But anyway, what I thought about this episode, I liked it. It was, I'm a fan of, I was a fan of Power Rangers. Growing up, I got caught in that whole Mania, and as I got older, I saw stuff like Voltron and Pacific Rim and liked the idea of them and enjoyed the Voltron series on Netflix and so on and so forth. So, yeah, this is all tick, tick, tick to me. But, yeah, in this, the new Avengers are made up of Sam Wilson the Falcon, Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel, or Spectrum, whatever she's called, Moon Knight, Shang-Chi, who else? Maybe the Red Guardian and Rachel Weisz, Mother Red Guardian, Mrs. Red Guardian. I don't know, but anyway, I think it's made up of them. Banner builds in the fail-safe schematics basically to take down a gamma radiating monster, where basically the mech suits, unite as per a Voltron or a Megazord or whatever else, has that kind of thing in it. And yeah, it looked cool. It was like interesting, and I enjoyed it, and I think it was a good episode. Voice acting was good. I think it was probably mostly original cast, as in like the same voices that you would find in the live action MCU. Same actors, should I say. And yeah, I like the way they played that. I like the way that they worked it in a sense that Sam Wilson became counselor and friend to Bruce Banner in the same way that he did to Captain America, but obviously it didn't play out the same, and yeah, the idea that Hulk was so desperate, Banner was so desperate to separate himself from the Hulk, that he instead created an even worse monster. The fact that this gamma radiation is based on Godzilla versus Godzilla King of Monsters as well, kind of vibe in there as well, But yeah, I thought it was a good episode and I enjoyed it, and yeah, it's decent, and it looked decent as well, and I liked the action and the story overall, and the relationship between Sam Wilson and Bruce Banner. It's pretty good, yeah. This episode was enjoyable. Tapped straight to my veins. So the next episode we got was, I think, what if Agatha went to Hollywood? So this is like set in sort of like the 40s, 50s. So when Howard Stark was young and Jarvis was an actual butler man, and basically Agatha Harkness wants to take the power of the celestial buried in the earth. So far, she's taken power from all of the Eternals, apart from Kingo, played by Kamal Nanjiani. And yeah, this episode was all right. I found it interesting, a little bit fun, but it wasn't really my favorite. And also, I think so. You got this whole sort of like old school Hollywood, kind of thing. Big set pieces, big dancers. Obviously, like Kingo at this stage is more of like a Bollywood star. And so when they come together to make this production, the guides of this production, where Agatha's really just sort of bringing him in so she can take his power. Yeah, it's like sort of a Bollywood versus golden age of Hollywood, singing and dancing type of mashup thing. But yeah, just during that big dance number / song sequence, whatever you want to call it, you just notice that this kind of animation is, this specific style of animation for this What If series isn't all the way slick, because they were doing like some fairly intricate dance numbers. It just looked it didn't look that smooth, like it wasn't fluid, it was very like what I remember sort of early animation / CGI being, and so that kind of spoiled it for me in terms of the look. It just didn't look great. Like still had all the smoothness and the detail and whatever cel shaded style they're going for, But in terms of like the actual fluidity of movement in the dancing, it just did not serve the story at all. It kind of killed the vibe for me a bit. Like I was enjoying it up till then. I still like enjoyed it, but I just don't think it was as good from that, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I mean, a great pairing in Catherine Hahn as Agatha Harkness and, you know, Kingo in Kamal and Jali. But, you know, just because, I guess both because of their comic flair, but also just, yeah, just, I just think it was a good pairing. It worked well, character-wise. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't my favourite episode. When she turned into a big sort of cosmic being after sucking some of that power to face off with the celestial Aramis, I think it was. You know, that looked pretty cool. But yeah, like I say, that whole big dance number just kind of spoiled it because it just didn't look right, which is a shame. But yeah, overall the sandwich is feeling not satisfying on that episode. And then I've just watched What If the Red Guardian Stopped the Winter Soldier. And yeah, I like this one. This was cool. You know, Bucky Barnes is the Winter Soldier. David Arbor, I think it's voiced by him, is the Red Guardian. Bill, I can't remember the character's real name. But anyway, yeah, and yeah, it's sort of what starts off as you know, your typical versus drama thriller turns into a buddy action comedy kind of thing. And yeah, they work well together. It's a good dynamic. And yeah, I like you got Goliath, Bill Foster, voiced by who I believe would be voiced by what's his name again? I know this guy's name. My goodness, plays Morpheus. You know, the dad in Blackish, the granddad in Blackish, Laurence Fishburne. Flipping that, kind of forget that. Interestingly, you have a ranger helping Bill Foster out in this, who is called Ranger Morales. So I wonder if she's related in any way to Miles Morales. It wouldn't be. I don't think it would be his mum. It would most likely maybe his grandma, his abuela, or whatever. But yeah, that's interesting. I'd like to do a deep dive and see the connection there. That'd be interesting. But yeah, overall this episode was fun. It had some good action set pieces. Obviously, you got Goliath going big or whatever. Bill Foster, and you got the Winter Soldier and the Red Guardian teaming up. It's kind of like a Cap and Winter Soldier situation, but obviously the Red Guardian is very much more brash and I want to say like not stupidly idealistic, but you know, innocently idealistic, so, like quite brainwashed by my mother Russia, but also like good at heart. You know, has a good heart, so is a good person at heart. We also see a younger Obadiah Stane, who was basically plotting the death and assassination of the Starks, Howard and I can't remember Tony's mum's name, but yeah, his parents. Yeah, assassination of them, as he does through his little, you know, backstabby corporate power games kind of thing. I think that was a cool inclusion. It didn't sound like it was voiced by Jeff Bridges. It sounded like it was voiced by someone else. But you know, they're not always able to get the original cast members back to voice these things. Sometimes they just don't want to do it, or it's just too much money, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure there's different reasons, scheduling reasons as well, whatever it may be. But yeah, I like this episode. It was enjoyable. Again, not my favourite, but also, yeah, just a fun time, you know, just a light action comedy type fun time, and I enjoyed it. And it's not one of those ones that feels like it has to go anywhere further, you know, like in terms of like in the wider universe of this what if. I don't feel like it needs to be connected to anything. It can just be, and that's fine by me, you know. So yeah, this one taps straight to my veins. We'll see what the next ones are like.
Okay, I completely skipped an episode here, like talking about it. I've seen it, but yeah, episode 4. What if Howard the Duck got hitched? And
Yeah, this one for me was kind of like a bit like a Marvel one shot, you know, like when they did that thing where like I don't know, Agent Coulson had to stop some kind of altercation in the in a quickie bar, or following Ben Kingsley and his Mandarin thing, or I don't know, Justin Hammer in prison and all that kind of stuff. You know, just those real shorts that Marvel used to do that weren't sort of consequential to the rest of the MCU story, but were just like a fun little thing. And that's basically what this was to me, man. Like it was cool. Like Seth Green's performance as Howard the Duck, nice to see that again. Always a pleasure to hear Kat Dennings as Darcy. You know, a bit of Jeff Goldblum as well in there. You know, Rachel Hunter, is that her name? Rachel House or one of them New Zealand performer that plays the henchman of the Grandmaster, but henchwoman should I say. But yeah, I liked it. I just didn't feel like it was necessary for the rest of the series, because obviously you get the birth of a super baby, the ducks Birdie, which you'll learn about later if you've seen it. No spoilers for that. Only spoilers for this episode. Yeah, it's a cool little adventure. It's a lot going on that kind of escalates in a comical way. But yeah, I mean, I was a fan of it. I just didn't feel like it was a part other than the relationship culminating in a child. I didn't really feel I needed to watch it. I kind of watched it again for this just because I realised I forgot it. But yeah, it was alright. It was decent. It was a fun time. There were some bits in there that I liked, like the sort of holiday scam from the Grandmaster, and them trying to eat this divine egg baby. Again, like with the Howard the Duck movie, which I've probably seen maybe like once in my lifetime. I can't remember that well, but I do remember in particular a woman trying to have a relationship. You know what I mean by have relations with a duck, humanoid duck, which I didn't fully grasp or understand the in and outs, possibly quite literally, back then. But thinking about it now, how does that doesn't bear thinking about? You know, whatever. Just leave that one alone. It is what it is. But obviously, yeah. The couple, I like them as a couple, strangely enough. And yeah, they just made it work, you know. I love that they were referred to as the Ducks. That, you know, it's not like Howard and Darcy Duck. It's Howard and Darcy the Ducks. It's just like, yeah, the fact that that's his surname for this. But yeah, Howard as well it just has kind of a brashness to him, similar to Rocket Raccoon. You know, comic book nerds, feel free to get at me in the comments. Like, where's Howard from? Is he of similar creation to Rocket Raccoon, or is it like is he like a different alien species or something? Like, what's going on there? What's the deal? Yeah, and it was, like I say, it was a fun enough time. I enjoyed the episode. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch that one again. Could have been a lot shorter for me, to be honest. I don't feel like it needed a whole episode, but there was fun to be had. You know, a little bit of low-key Tom Hiddleston as a frost giant, which is fun, and the dynamic with his father Laufey. You got Nick Fury and Agent Coulson going at it again, but I liked Samuel Jackson's Fury out. That was fun. You know, doesn't need to be so serious in the MCU for a lot of it. You know, he's like he started off as exposition guy, so you know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a fun enough episode. There was a lot of fun stuff going on. Fun little intergalactic adventure, I guess. And also, you know, I love the way they shouted out parents at the end. Can't lie. They kind of got me with that one. Not that I was crying or anything, but I was just like, yeah, you know what? Parenting is hard. We are heroes. I don't care what anyone says. Especially if, you know, you actually tried this thing. So, you know, there you go. But yeah, overall, it was a decent episode. This sandwich spinning, but not satisfying. Alright, so episode 5, What If the Emergence Destroyed the Earth? Starring Riri Williams, aka, well, yeah, I can't remember The actress's name. I kind of don't want to look up stuff because I know there'd be spoilers. Yeah, she was in she was in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and obviously Judas and the Black Messiah. I want to say Danielle something. I can't. Sorry. She's a great actress though. Yeah, this episode, so far I'm like enjoying this in as much as new Marvel content that's decent. But I wouldn't say I'm blown away. This one starts off pretty bleak. Gotta say, like pretty bleak. Interesting use of some of the characters left. You got Wong, you got Michelle Yeoh's character from Shang-Chi, got Valkyrie, Tessa Thompson. I don't know if it is her voicing her. Possibly, but I don't know. Power Broker makes a little appearance. Again, not sure if it's the original voice. And Beck, aka Mysterio from Spider-Man No Way Home. Not sure if that's Jake Gyllenhaal. But if it is, it's interesting because it's an old husky, broken, tech-infused Mysterio. I like this episode. I still think nothing's really topped the Voltron episode for me. That was the most, I guess that was the most fun, most interesting for me so far. But this one is pretty interesting, I'm interested to see what happens in this one. I feel like the connection is going to be... Because obviously, by the end of this episode, it's like, who watches the Watcher? Because basically, the other Watchers, they're done playing with his whole, I'm the Watcher, but we're going to interview every now and again. And, they're done with it now. So they're going to watch him and make sure he sticks to the rules, sticks to his oath. He's got to suck, by the way. But there you go. Vision is in this one, White Vision, Black Vision. The Vision as created by Mysterio. What's interesting in this one as well is there's a few unanswered questions, like for instance, how did Mysterio get rid of Iron Man, Tony Stark, and take over all this tech? No, he was a Stark employee, but in this world, he somehow manages to take over Stark's technology. My only guess is that maybe when the emergence happened, the world's kind of like shattered, but still operating somehow. The remnants of it. Maybe Stark fell in it. Maybe Stark died in the emergence. So basically, the emergence happens before the Eternals unite and have a chance to stop it. In this universe, this series, should I say, needs to be very Eternals centered. Not that you see all the Eternals or whatever, but just that a lot of the storyline so far has come back to Celestials and the Eternals. So yeah, interesting to see where this one is going. I do think it's all going to link up because that's what kind of Marvel, that's what they kind of do really. But I feel like if it wasn't for like the Celestials and the Eternal through line that's been happening so far, this could easily just be, random events, random episodes, and I'll be fine with that. I would be fine with that if the episodes were a bit more banging. So far, this for me hasn't been as enjoyable as series 1 or 2 really. I guess the most fun episode so far has been Winter Soldier and Red Guardian. But yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's all right. It's not something that I would necessarily rewatch so far. But let's see what else is going on. I believe the next episode is Shang-Chi's gonna be a cowboy, so let's see about that. But yeah, I mean, it's all right. This episode in particular, I enjoyed seeing Riri Williams and what she was up to. She went kind of Captain Marvel by the end of it, fusing with Vision. It just made me think of Lashana Lynch's Captain Marvel. Yeah, is that interesting to me? Might as well put Lashana Lynch. I don't know. But it's like I said, it's been alright. Let's see how it goes. Episode 6, What If 1872? Which on paper is a terrible title. Like, what does that even mean? But obviously, you get to know what it means. But it's basically what if Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop Hawkeye teamed up in the Old West, basically. I like this one. This is one of the better episodes for me. cool to hear Simu Liu and Hayley Stanfield in their character roles, and Alton Goggins shows up in this. It's always a pleasure to hear or see him do his thing, so love that. Also, you have Shang-Chi's sister in this one, so I can't remember the actress's name, but she was brilliant in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I loved her. I'd love to see her in more stuff, and yeah, basically like it's a good old western with, you know, some superhero stuff, but not too. I wouldn't say not too far out there to take away from the western. I mean, you know, it's a bit of science fiction, like, you know, the Wild Wild West, maybe kind of thing, but not, you know, not so much. You know, or maybe like aliens versus cowboys, or well, not really, but you know, there's some tech in there where it's like you wouldn't have that in Old West, basically. But that aside, yeah, it was cool. It was really cool to see. I remember thinking at the beginning, like, Shang-Chi as a cowboy, that's interesting. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure back around that time, a lot of the Chinese immigrants had been most of them were working on a railroad, and as with, you know, most American stories of immigrants coming over, mistreatment and, you know, sort of disillusioned American dream, you know, people just trying to make a better life for themselves and coming up against obstacles and all that kind of stuff. And it's, you know, yeah, that plays into it here, but in more of a being enslaved kind of way. And we'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, it was interesting. It was cool. I could have watched that as a short movie, to be honest. There was some bits to it that felt a bit underdeveloped or rushed, because you just got to fit it into a short episode, which is what it is. Uwasu is obviously doing this. Jeffrey Wright, doing great voice work. But yeah, we're getting into more of the spoilers of this episode now. I haven't started anything like this, but this one is like quite fresh to me, and I was able to talk about it without spoilers and that. But yeah, I would say this is one of my favorite episodes of the season. One of the top ones, definitely. This episode, I would have to say, tapped straight to my veins. The previous one, which I watched, was that the Riri Williams one? Yeah, it was. I would say this sandwich is filling but not satisfying. I liked it, but you know, it wasn't my fave. I really enjoyed this as like sort of a solo adventure, as a single episode. It was cool. Like I said, I could have watched it as a movie. But again, it's spoilers. Yeah, so Uwasu sticks his big 2 fingers in, I guess. The 2 fingers? So he basically flicks away some bad guys away from a child being shot or thrown off a train. I think his name was John Wayne. Oh, was that a play on John Wayne? I don't know. Anyway, I could have got the name wrong, so maybe it wasn't. But yeah, this episode was Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop working together. It's partners, more not really like a sidekick thing, but then they find a sidekick in this little kid whose dad has been kidnapped by the Hood, who's the big bad in this. The adventure continues, I guess, or begins. Or no, it continues, because they're trying to track down the Hood, take him down, get back the people who have been kidnapped. They're kidnapping Chinese immigrants who were working on the railroad, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I liked the way it's played out. Again, great voice acting work from everybody. I believe the performances. Obviously some people have done more voice acting than others, but Simu Liu was given a good like sort of Chinese American Western guy, you know, Western tough guy kind of accent. Quite had a little twang to it. It was quite cool. But yeah, Uwasu gets involved again, saving this kid's life. And, you know, he's already on the Watcher's list. The Watcher is on the Watcher's list to get me, so he's, you know, he's kicking. Little does he know, he's getting up more of a stink. I guess he can watch everything, but he can't watch the Watchers, so he doesn't see that coming. But anyway, more on that later. That seems to be the 3 point of the season. That seems to be the thing that's going to bring everything together. I'm guessing the next episode is the finale, because what if the Watcher goes missing? Or disappears, something like that, right? To degree. Basically, in this one, the Hood turns out to be Shang-Chi's sister. So again, it's brother against sister, but in a different way. Tragically, you know, she doesn't really snap out of her villainy until it's too late, obviously. Kate shoots her down. And this is the part where I was like, this was a bit underdeveloped, because I feel like, in a way, I'm glad it didn't go this way, because, you know, it is a bit typical, but also it would have been understandable, you know, because basically Kate Bishop ends up taking her down, not knowing who she is, not knowing that she's Shang-Chi's sister. Laylin, is that her name? I can't remember. But just understanding that she's the Hood, whoever he's facing, it's the Hood, isn't it? Because it just ends up taking her down, and Shang-Chi is quick to forgive, boy, like real quick. Like he just seems to have a. I mean, this is a more realised Shang-Chi, I guess, like more confident in himself. Doesn't have the guilt, I guess, of what he did under his father's tutelage, because I don't know if that plays into it here. Real quick to forgive her, and understanding that it wasn't necessarily Kate that killed. Although Kate pulled the trigger on her, it's the Hood, the original Hood, whoever that may have been, that led her down this path. And led her down this path, led her into villainy, and thus her ending up being killed, which was, you know, quite a mature and realised moment. But also at the same time, if it was a movie, I feel like there would have been a bit of Shang-Chi versus Kate Bishop. There would have been a bit of back and forth between them, a little fight, until maybe one of them almost gets hurt, or maybe the kid almost gets hurt. They see past it, and, you know. But another thing was, Kate Bishop was mad apologetic, which is something that doesn't really happen in these movies. Like, even when I think back to Civil War, like, although Steve Rogers is trying to, you know, stick up for his friend Bucky, because obviously Bucky was brainwashed, killing Stark's parents. Cap doesn't really give enough, like, you know, oh, sorry, I know he killed your parents, but I had to protect my friend. It was like, he was almost like non-apologetic for it. He was like, listen, just had to protect my friend, did it? Like, you know, I feel like if it was the other way around and it was Stark that killed Bucky's parents, given, you know, Steve and Bucky's history, I feel like, yeah, Bucky would, Steve still would have been on Bucky's side, even if, you know, she was on the other kind of thing, which is a bit, I mean, Steve's kind of trash for that. I'm not saying he should have killed off his friend, but I'm just saying he should have helped Tony more, or at least helped Tony come around to the way things got to be done. But I don't know, maybe Tony's bloodlust was too heavy in the Civil War for him to get through. Maybe that's what he had the foresight to see. I don't know. Anyway, all that to say that, I want to mind this as a short film, or like as a more expanded episode or whatever. But I know it is what it is. We'll see what the others bring. Maybe it'll make me feel a different way about it. But from what I've seen, watching this is probably my favourite episodes out of this season so far. And yeah, like I say, really enjoyable. I kind of like a good old Western. My dad always liked Westerns, and I think that kind of flowed down to me a little bit. And they don't really make them anymore, so this was nice to see, you know. Maybe the Cowboys and all that will come around, you know, barring Johnny Outlaw and was it Johnny Outlaw Black, and was that other film with the with John was it Jonathan Majors? You know, the guy who made the Book of Clarence, Samuel, you know, Steele's brother. Can't remember his name now, but I can't even remember what that movie's called. I don't know, man. Talking so much rubbish here. But yeah, you know the Western film I'm talking about, with the white people, with the black people, Regina Hall, and loads of other people. And flip, man, I'm not doing well. I think it was Jonathan Majors. Anyway, bit of digression there. Yeah, I like this episode. I like a Western. Like a good Western. And this was Westerns and comics combined. Can't get better than that. Or can it? We'll see. Yeah, see what the other episodes bring. Alright, so I got round to watching the two-part season finale for this What If. So let's talk about it. I'm probably going to jump all over the place. This is the final 2 episodes of What If Season 3. What if the Watcher went missing? And what if the inspirational title. But yeah, this is how it comes together. Really, I like overall. Like, I liked the series, as I usually do. I would say it's my favourite, all of them, which is a shame because it is the last one, as far as I know. I'm sure if it does the numbers, they'll probably pull another one out of the bag. But, yeah, I'm a big Captain Carter fan. Like, you know, as far as alternate stories or whatever, like, Peggy Carter, even in, like, you know, the main MCU, the main timeline, if you want to call it that, one of my favourite characters, and seeing her sort of get more of a story, more of a cover in season 2, big fan of that, loving it. And then, you know, to see her back again in season 3 is great, and this whole ragtag band of sort of like cosmically superpowered supergirls, superwomen. Well, you know, not to start off with. But, yeah, I loved it, man. I loved the crew dynamic. I loved the way they folded Birdie into it. Her power set. Love to hear Natasha Lyonne voice acting. As soon as I heard her voice, I was like, I'm sure that's her. I wanted to rush onto IMDb to check, but I was like, I don't want to spoil this for myself by accidentally seeing anything about the episode before I finish the episode, you know what I mean? But, yeah. Birdie looked cool. Alison, what's her name? And Storm, classic. Just, you know, brilliant. You know, voice of childhood, voice of generation, voice of now, after watching X-Men 97. And yeah, just love to see it. I can't remember that Native American girl, but I loved her character as well. It's rubbish. I'm gonna have to go on IMDb and look up some stuff here because I'm just talking in the wind. And speaking of the wind, it is gusting here. But anyway, I like these 2 episodes. I think they worked well. I think it was an interesting way to bring it all together again, because you can't always make it about every character in the story. And I know they haven't done in the series, sorry. And I know they haven't done that in the previous ones, but this bringing together felt a lot more like a long way around sort of thing, or at least what am I trying to say here? Came out a bit of left field in that I didn't see this one coming, you know? Whereas with season 1 in particular, it was building up to a team up of the characters across the season. Season 2 also to some degree. Well, I guess it was just 2 characters teaming up, but you know what I mean? What can I say? I liked it, man. It was good. It was good stuff, man. It was good stuff. Overall, going into spoilers a bit now, I guess. So yeah, getting to see Peggy Carter return again, and sort of her wanting to rescue the Watcher. Typical word, Peggy Carter stuff. Yeah, what I was a bit, I guess, let down by was the fact that we didn't get a Storm episode, you know? We didn't get to see Storm, Goddess of Thunder. We didn't get to see that story. And that seems like a big missed opportunity, man. Alison Sealy-Smith, you know, returning as the voice of Storm. I wouldn't say the one true voice of Storm, but so far the best we've had, you know what I mean? Yeah, brilliant. You know, and we saw that in the teaser promo for this season, but also, like, that's a big story right there. And you're not going to tell it. And this is supposed to be the last season, you know what I mean? I know previously when you had the first season and it culminated in a team up, I know for COVID reasons or whatever, they couldn't get the Gamora story out in time. So they had to put it into season 2. But, yeah, man, like, this is just Storm. It's Storm. I don't even care if she wasn't... The fact that you got Alison Sealy-Smith to voice her, and then you don't do it a special episode on that. Ah, man, it just seems like such a waste, you know? But yeah, I mean, I was happy to see her in it. Yeah, it could have been sick. I loved, like I say, I love Birdie's inclusion. The character of Birdie's, seeing her all grown up or whatever, and like how her powers work, how she's this hybrid sort of alien humanoid animal / human. And I like at first, just as with how the Doctor movie, which I can't even remember if I've watched that or not, but just even as a kid thinking this is like kind of weird, but like the whole Howard the Duck and Darcy getting married is like, and then having a child. It's like, boy, I don't even want to think about how that works. And like, but like, yeah, you just kind of like, you kind of accept it and they make it work, you know. And Birdie is a good fruit of that relationship, you know. And yeah, like even though you didn't see the team form, you know, Kahhori, played by Devery Jacobs, told you I'd get on the flipping IMDb. Storm, Birdie, and Natasha, and Captain Carter. Even though you don't see them form, like they just work really well together. It's cool, man. Yeah, I like it. I like the team dynamic. I like the way they all work together and stuff like that, and how they all like, even though they're really like super powerful, like especially like Kahhori flipping got the shards of the space stone in her or whatever. I don't know. Can't remember how it works. Or it was like water, wasn't it? So I guess the space stone is kind of a part of her. But yeah, it's like it just worked. Like, for me anyway, it wasn't like overpowered to the sense of like this is like any of them could like flipping Peggy. You know, just like Captain America is. I guess he's not necessarily the strongest, but he's got the strongest will. And you know, Peggy is kind of the same way in that she is more or less just a woman with a shield, a superpowered woman with a shield, super strong woman with a shield or whatever, but it's her will and her strength and her wit, her mind, I guess, that enables her to get people behind her and, yeah, you know, follow her into the fray, as it were. So, yeah, there was good balance, I feel, of powers and whatnot, and what those powers could do. And also, they're going up against, you know, super powerful cosmic watcher guys, which I don't totally understand their origin and stuff. I'll be interested to do a deep dive on that. But yeah, obviously they've got some kind of power cosmic running through them. Jeffrey Wright smacked it throughout the series. He really got a lot of I think as in season 2, he got a lot more to play with, you know, a lot more colour to what he's doing. And I must say, the design of the watches, like when you briefly saw them in that Stan Lee cameo in, I believe it was Guardians 2, Volume 2. Just 3 white dudes, isn't it? But then Uatu is obviously played by Jeffrey Wright, and I feel like they gave him a little Menelin as well, you know? He had a bit of a different shade. Not that racist everything, but it's just nice to see that representation, you know, of these big-headed alien watcher dudes, that they're all not just like pale white people. So that was quite cool. And yeah, the story came together for me quite well. I feel like it wasn't necessarily one where I needed, like, you know, with the previous seasons, I feel like you needed to watch the whole thing to appreciate the end point, right? With this one, I feel like in terms of Uatu, his character and his character arc and what he's going through and how he ends up getting kidnapped, yes, of course you need to watch the whole thing. But yeah, aside from that, you could have just like watched these 2 episodes could have just been like a TV special or whatever you want to call it, you know, yeah, or you know, straight to streaming movie. It wasn't. It didn't. The whole season didn't feel as cohesive as previous ones have. And like I said, I'm not against just having like random episodes, random adventures, whatever. It doesn't always, like, one of Marvel's strengths and also one of their downfalls is the interconnectedness of everything. You know, everything has to be flow into something else or mean something for something else, whatever. You can't just watch it singly. I mean, you can, obviously, like, your prerogative, but in terms of getting a whole total picture of everything, it feels like you have to watch everything. And obviously, for people who don't have a Disney Plus subscription, like, well, you know, why would we be doing that this long? But anyway, prattling on here way too long. Yeah, overall, I really liked the show. I think it was really good. Not as cohesive as previous ones, but as a whole, I think What If Season 3 was very enjoyable. I would give it a tap it straight to my veins, but it just wasn't my favourite. So I'm just going to give it a very high, almost tap it straight to my veins. This sandwich is filling, but not satisfying. The 2 finale episodes I really enjoyed, and I think, you know, like I say, without the whole Uatu hinted at getting kidnapped or whatever, I mean, you kind of brought up to speed by this penultimate episode anyway, and then obviously that works together with the last episode. I would give the last 2 episodes, I'll rate them together, a tap straight to my veins, because I really liked it. Really liked seeing the ladies get powered up. And I know, like, the anti-woke incel group would be like, oh, why is it all just females against men or whatever? I don't know. Someone out there is probably thinking it, innit? But, yeah, it was nice to see a female-led group that didn't feel, like, kind of forced together or, like, just like trying too hard, you know, like kind of like that scene in Endgame where all the ladies suddenly are on the battlefield somehow, are in close proximity together and start, you know, charging together. Which, to be honest, when I watched it in the cinema, I was gassed. When I watched it at home, I was like, this is a bit like, yeah, how did this logistically? How's this working? Why is it just the women suddenly again? But anyway. Just say I really enjoyed it, girl power, all that, and yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see. It was cool to see their level ups as well, and yeah, interesting that these guys are now the new Watchers. I do feel one last side point. I do feel sorry for Howard, the Duck, and Darcy because you know their daughter is now an all Cosmic Watch. I mean, how's it work? Are they going to get to see her again? Does she go home for holidays? Does she ever get to leave that post now that she's a Watcher like Uatu? And also, what happens to the other Watchers? Are they just watching now as well? Is none of them still like mad and going to get fight back? I guess we'll never know because that was the last season. Unless, you know, like I say, it does numbers and people agree to come back again. And even if not, it's voice acting in it. So we need someone who's decent enough at doing the voice to come back. So, yeah. But yeah, as far as the Marvel animation thing, I liked it. And it's a shame it's the last one. I do enjoy these shows. And I think they're cool, like, they're cool things that you can watch without having to watch everything else. Obviously, again, if you watch everything, you get a bigger picture of it. But still, for me, it's just, I think it's a nice little sighting, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, like I said, the whole series, the sandwich is feeling not satisfying, but a very high one.
Yes, so that was my thoughts on What If Season 3, the apparently final season of this show, this Marvel original Disney Plus animated series. Yeah, what did you think about it? Did you like this show? Have you liked the show as a whole? What did you think about this series? What was your favourite episode? Are you sad that it's ending? Would you like some more What If seasons to come out? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, share, comment, like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and yeah, hit that notification button always to keep up to date with any and all content I am making. My name is Miles Reviews, that's Miles with a Y. You can follow me here on YouTube or on any other platform at Miles Reviews and check out my stuff. But yeah, I just want to say a big thank you for tuning in, especially just over the past year, 2024, there's been a lot of growth on many of the platforms with the content I've been putting out. So thank you for supporting and just watching and, you know, sharing and commenting, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. And yeah, long may it continue. I'm going to try to do a few more things this year. So yeah, let's see how it goes. And yeah, thanks again for tuning in. But yeah, that's my thoughts on What If. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment below. And I hope, as always, you are enjoying life out there, enjoying those films, those shows, music, and whatever else is going on. And most importantly, life. And yeah, I'll be having a good one. See you on the next one. God bless and all the rest.